Come, let us recite from the sayings of the Buddha and then meditate like a Jedi. Be quick to flow from love's effortless effort. If you are slow, the mindset delighting in mischief could catch you. Transcend mischief, again and again transcend before sorrow befalls you. One moment. All right, bear with me, if you please. Transcend mischief again and again, transcend, before sorrow befalls all who you affect. Prepare your heart to flow from love's effortless effort. Do it over and over again, and you will be filled with joy. Contemplatively prepare your heart to flow from love's centered spontaneity. Do it over and over again, and you will be filled with joy. A fool is happy in one moment. Let's see. Contemplatively prepare your heart to flow from love's centered spontaneity. Do it over and over again, and you and all who you affect could be filled with joy. A fool is happy until his mischief turns against him. A good man may suffer until his goodness flowers. Do not make light of your failings, saying, "What are they to me?" For drop by drop a jug fills, and thus their folly fills to the brim. Do not belittle your kindness, saying they are nothing. I mispronounced. Do not belittle your kindnesses, saying they are nothing. For drop by drop a jug fills, and thus kindness of the wise. And thus, let's see. And thus the kindness of the wise fills to the brim. As the rich merchant with few servants shuns a dangerous road, and the one who loves life shuns poison. Beware the dangers of folly and mischief. For just as an unwounded hand may handle poison, those flowing from love's effortless effort come to no harm. Just as dust thrown against the wind like dust thrown against the wind, mischief is blown back into the face of the fool who wrongs those who flow from love's effortless effort. Some experience life as hell. Some experience life as ordinary. Some experience life as like heaven. But the transcendent no longer restlessly wander anywhere, not in the sky, nor in the midst of the sea, nor deep in the mountains. We can hide from our own mischief, neither in the sky, nor in the midst of the ocean, nor deep in the mountains. Nor can we hide from our own stress. All right. Whoopsie, that was interesting. Having completed our opening recitation, we could now shift gears. It is General Leia Organa's Saturday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. After about 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Semde Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day. Oops, let's try this again. For more than 30 years, I've harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus so that I could spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. For the remainder of this morning's live stream, let us practice mindfulness and meditation. Contrary to the ravings of poop heads, mindfulness is not active focusing. Meditation is not active analysis. For they depend upon different parts of the brain. Analysis depends upon our dorsolateral and analysis and focus depend upon our dorsolateral and medial prefrontal cortex. When we overwork them, when we fatigue them, we cannot help but begin presenting with symptoms of depression, no less accidentally trigger our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression. Fortunately, neither the prefrontal cortex nor the amygdala constitute the entirety of our central nervous system. Please consider the lowly spinal cord. Every time we inhale, we have evolved to automatically access the middle bit of our spinal cord, known as the sympathetic nervous system. It has evolved to help us to notice in a very special way. It has evolved to help us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. It has evolved to help us to notice mind's antics of perception. Seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including the full spectrum of human emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. Instead of picking and choosing what we focus on, we vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice whatever metaphorically cartwheels across the stage of our mind, whether that which we notice is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. But what are we to do with that which we notice? Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we have evolved to automatically access the very bottommost bit and the very topmost bit of that same spinal cord, kind of like bookends. These are known together as, this team is known as our parasympathetic nervous system. It has evolved to help us to physically relax and mentally release to such a degree that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, and less defining. And if you prefer figures of speech, as we relax into our exhalation, whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel as non-graspable as a vast, empty void. What's a real-world example of a non-graspable, vast, empty void? Well, how about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although it could look tantalizing to the eye, feel non-graspable to the hand. Thus, mindfulness is simply noticing mind's antics, and meditation is simply relaxing into the fleeting experience of mind's emptiness or non-graspability. The easiest way to do this is to silently and mentally recite the verb watch every time we feel our chest swell with breath, and to silently and mentally recite the verb rest every time we feel our chest subtly sink as gently we exhale. No, our job is not to concentrate upon the breath and indulge our controlling tendencies, striving to determine the duration and depth of each breath. Au contraire, upon this Buddha's passive path, we treat our breathing as a metronome, as the pendulum in a grandfather clock, simply watching and resting in harmony with the cycles of breath. If you, like me, are prone to arthritis, you are welcome to gently adjust your legs every 15 minutes or so. You might find it beneficial to rest the great knuckle at the base of your right middle finger upon the tip of your left middle finger, palms up, in your lap. In this morning's recitation, we talked about effortless effort, and here's how that works. I should say effortless effort is part of a larger phrase, love's effortless effort. The more we cooperate with our autonomic nervous system by watching and resting in coordination with our breath for as little as 5 minutes every 12 hours or so, the more we gently stimulate a bundle of tissue known as the anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy. That is why the late Tugul Tundup insisted that the highest love was the spontaneous and uncontrived fringe benefit of mindfulness and meditation. Well, feeling empathy is great, but how are we to know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it? Simple. The more we practice watching and resting in harmony with our inhalation and exhalation, the more our choices and utterances and our deeds flow not from calculated contrivance, nor from wild scatterness, but instead from centered spontaneity. Love's centered spontaneity is the effortless effort of the sixth fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions intermittently. Let us flow from love's centered spontaneity, without seeking reward or respect or even the benefit of the doubt. Doing the right thing is no guarantee of any of that. Sometimes the price of doing the right thing is having others deny you the benefit of the doubt, hurl railing accusations at you, and just plain hate you, while not besmirching you to others. There is no guarantee of anything. So rather than move forward with extrinsic motivation, hoping for rewards, let us simply flow from love's centered spontaneity. And take that as its own reward. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 2.5 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's brunch recitation as well as effortless meditation. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.